folks, how you doing? I'm live again here on American Liberty Radio podcast. How are you? Are you good? It's the 21st of December, 2017. I got to tell you, man, I almost didn't go live tonight because of the fact that, well, I didn't think the information that I was going to share was, was important enough to go live. But after reading this article, I decided get the word out any way I could. So I went live. Former Obama advisor calls for the death of GOP leadership on Twitter. Obama aide Ben Rhodes hopes to see Ryan, McConnell, and Pence dead. I'm just going to leave that right there for you on American Liberty Radio podcast on Facebook and let you stew over that one. So there you go. The Democrats want people dead. No, don't give me any more crap. The Democrats want people dead. Okay? They want them dead. That right there tells me from that person's delusional mind that they should all die. That the Republicans and all the people that want a better America, want to make America great again, apparently this guy wants all of them dead. Obama advisor Ben Rhodes crossed the line with many Americans when he tweeted that he hopes for the death of Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, and Mike Pence. Another Obama aide, Dan Pfeiffer, commented on an Instagram picture posted by Donald Trump saying, quote, "I hope this is the photo they use in the front page of the Times on the day Trump is indicted," unquote. Replying to Pfeiffer's comment, Rhodes added, quote, "and alongside the obits of Ryan, McConnell, and Pence," unquote. Republican Steve Scalise of Louisiana, who survived an assassination attempt in June when a psychotic liberal targeted conservative politicians, replied to Rhodes by warning, quote, "You may want to reconsider your rhetoric," unquote. Twitter users were quick to share their feelings with Rhodes, but the former Obama advisor has yet to respond. He won't because he's a freaking coward. They all are. That's my editorial to that line. This next line, this is just the latest example of the left openly calling for violence against conservatives. There you go. There you go. Right there. They want people dead. They do not want peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the United States of America. No. They don't want that at all. They want conservatives. They want people like us dead. That's all it is to it. I've told you many, many times. This rhetoric from the left is ramping up to a very violent end. There are calls in Chicago to put UN troops on the streets of Chicago to really combat gun violence. They always use that phrase, gun violence. Let me translate that for you. Since the Democratic Party and the Progressive Party, the Democratic Socialists and the Republican Fascists, since they know for a fact that you and I are not going to give up our weapons, they're bringing in the UN to take them away from us. Okay? I don't want to hear any more crap about it. That's the way it is. Now, get your head out of your ass and start looking at the truth and start looking at the facts of all this. This guy wants people dead. Obama advisor Ben Rhodes crossed the line with many Americans when he tweeted that he hopes for the death of Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, and Mike Pence, the vice president. He and Rosie O'Donnell should be in prison right now. right now. Well, Rosie O'Donnell should be, because she offered $2 million to 2 of the senators to impeach Trump. I used to think she was funny. She's nothing but a douchebag now. Always has been for the last several years. She even said that she would move out of the U.S. if Trump became president. I don't see her leaving. Or Whoopi Goldberg. So, lying pieces of crap. Trump re-election odds explode after first-year tax cuts. Reagan enjoyed re-election landslide after freshman year tax reform. Kit Daniels, Infowars.com, December 21st, today, 2017. After passing major tax cuts in 1981, President Ronald Reagan won a re-election in a massive landslide which hints at President Trump's future. Okay. During his freshman year in office, President Reagan signed the Economic Recovery Act in 1981, meant to encourage, quote, economic growth through reductions of individual income tax rates, unquote. Doesn't that sound familiar? It should, because that's what President Trump's primary objective behind his recently passed tax reform bill. Quote, talk is cheap, of course. The proof will come when Americans begin seeing more money in their paychecks as early as February, unquote, the White House stated on Thursday. Quote, in addition to tax relief for working families, this bill is about restoring America's economic dominance. While excessive business taxes are unseen by many, everyone feels the effects from through higher prices and lower wages, quote, unquote. Quote, by flattening the tax rate for American companies across the board, all businesses, not just the well-connected ones that pay for teams of lawyers and accountants, will be able to invest once more in our country's future, unquote. Now, looking back at history, President Reagan won the 1984 re-election by by taking 49 of 50 states in a lopsided landslide aided by tax reform. That's going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. There are people out there that said their taxes are going to go up now. They're in the middle class. They said that they're going to have trouble buying things because now things are going to go up. No. The opposite is true. Okay? A lot of my friends who are liberal and vow to stay that way have literally said this is the wrong idea. They don't like Trump because they this and they talk bad about him all the time, and you probably heard it from your liberal friends too as well. But let me identify one aspect of the liberal mindset. Screw you, we want free stuff. I'm only paraphrasing, but I can go into a longer explanation of that. But basically, that's one aspect of just the liberal mindset. Screw you, I want free stuff. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're working. I don't care if you're making money. I don't care if you have your business of your own. If you're a liberal, that's exactly what you're going to say. And again, I'm only paraphrasing. Liberals don't give a crap about making America great again. They don't give a crap about tax reform, about lowering taxes, which, of course, their taxes will be lowered as well. They don't give one freaking rip about the truth or facts that come out through this tax reform bill or anything that Trump does. And I believe it's because of two things. And I've thought about this all day today because I didn't do a podcast this morning. I'm doing this right now, live. Two things. Number one, they're taking it personally because they personally don't like this man regardless. Okay? That's number one. Number two, they don't like what's happening to this country from their point of view, their liberal progressive point of view, because of the fact that they ain't getting their stuff for free. Bottom line. And I make no apologies for that. None. Zip. Zero. I make no apologies for it. And as far as I'm concerned, I feel that we need to cut the taxes even more. I don't know what it went down to or what it was from, but I can tell you this much. We need to cut them even more. Okay? And frankly, I'm with Ron Paul when he says we need to get rid of the Federal Reserve and the IRS. We need to get rid of them. Folks, we need to get rid of them. We need to get rid of them. Have I said that enough? We need to repeal the Act of 1871 and decentralize Washington, D.C. Our founding fathers warned us of three things. One, don't have a standing army. We do. It's called the United States Armed Forces. Our founding fathers warned us against entangling ourselves in foreign wars. You can go look their writings up about that one. What have we done in the last 150 years? Entangled ourselves in foreign wars. And the number one thing on the top of the list that our founding fathers warned us about was a centralized government. We have one, as of the Act of 1871 signed into law by President Ulysses S. Grant. We need to get rid of all of it. We need to revamp and press the reset button and do what we have to do to take care of ourselves. And I know how to get rid of the IRS and the Federal Reserve right now. Repeal the Federal Reserve Act and the Internal Revenue Act. Signed into law by President Woodrow Wilson in 1913 after basically symbolically having his arms twisted behind his back by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers of the time, who wanted a central bank of their own. And that was 1913, and that was several months, if not a full year, before World War I broke out over in Europe. And guess who loaned us the money to get into that war? And guess who paid for the other side in that war as well? So, yeah. The one thing that I can say about the United States of America is that it's my home, and it's the home to 320 million other people, or, give or take a few 100,000. And the one thing that I've learned in my so many years of being on this planet and living this experience is the fact that there's always going to be conflict. I don't care what that conflict is. I don't care how far it takes you. I don't care what you learn from it. There's always going to be conflict. It does not matter one rip where that conflict starts. But the remnants, I should say the results of that conflict is going to be the downfall of anything that makes anything better than what it was. And if it doesn't do it right away, well, there's this incremental, it happens incrementally. And it's happened ever since 1871 in the United States of America. So as far as I'm concerned, we need to get rid of all of it. We need to dump Washington, D.C. out into the Atlantic. We need to allow the states to be states because they are countries unto themselves. We're just allowing a centralized capital to do what it has to keep us safe. What we really need to do is get rid of all the nationalized functions of Washington, D.C., including the Postal Service and the Railroad Service. We need to get rid of all that. We need to decentralize a great many things in the United States. We need to put businesses back into the United States. We need to repeal GATT and NAFTA. Thank you, Bill Clinton. We need to repeal that, bring all the businesses back to the U.S. And then, when we get rid of the Federal Reserve and the IRS, we need to get rid of all taxes as well. Well, how's the country going to support itself? Huh? Okay, if you still want to have your money stolen out of your check, then how about a flat tax of 15% across the board? Huh? If you make $100,000 a year, how'd you like to keep $85,000 of it? You don't do your taxes at the end of the year. You don't get anything back. It's taken right out of your check. You don't see it. You don't have to worry about it. Or if somebody wants to keep the math simple, we can have it 12% across the board, and that's % a month. So, you know. Basically, folks, there's only two things that you have to remember about the United States of America. It grew out of the passion of people who want peace, freedom, liberty, and security, and who want to take care of themselves and build and do what they need to do and do what they have to do to take care of themselves. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of the United States of America that we seem to forget is that our leaders don't know crap. Our leaders are attorneys, mostly in the 535 congressmen and women up there. They're attorneys, or they're someone who spends lots of hours trying to finagle their way out of abiding by the laws that they make. And it's now come out that Congress has just passed laws that they're immune from. In other words, we're screwed, they're not. So, where do we go from there, folks? Where do we go from there? I know where I'm going. To this next story. To this next article. I want you guys to go check out. Let me check it out for you. I'm live here on air on the American Liberty Radio Network. And let me do this live on air. Let me go to 2045. That's the number 2045.com. The Strategic Social Initiative. Now I'm going to go down here to the bottom of the page. And it doesn't say that there's been any updates. So I don't know how updated this page truly is. So this goes back 4 years ago. There was a conference. The Second International Global Future 2045 Congress focused on discussion of a new evolutionary strategy for humanity aimed at overcoming the 21st century's civilization challenges. That was the Global Future 2045 in New York, June 15th and 16th, 2013. So if anybody was, if anybody had been there, if anybody was related to a company that was there, I want to hear from you. I want to see, I want you to tell me what they've talked about. That was the Global Future 2045, New York, June 15th and 16th, 2013. I want to know how updated this page is at 2045.com. Okay? Ambitious neuroscience project to probe how the brain makes decisions. Boston Dynamics Atlas robot does backflips now, and it's full tilt insane. I just saw a video of that on YouTube. Speedy collision detector could make robots better human assistants. MIT remote control robot system puts VR to work. And there's a question. Are computers already smarter than humans? Huh. So I want to know exactly what this page is all about, because the About Us only gives you, typical, this is what we do, this is what we're about, typical form letter type of information. 2045.com. If anybody was at that Congress in June of 2013, let me know. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Ben Warren, Infowars.com, 21st of December 2017. Augmented reality, new endgame of globalists. The spy grid capabilities of augmented reality revealed. Oculus President Michael Abresh is preparing for a world where augmented reality dominates the daily lives of everyone, I should say. Abresh admitted virtual reality is not the future, noting that the public believes it is more burdensome and not as sleek as the aesthetically engaging AR alternative. He said, quote, no matter how good VR gets, few people would be comfortable socializing in person with someone whose eyes they can't see, and social acceptability is an absolute requirement for anything we wear in public, unquote. I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio podcast. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make this perfectly clear. I make no bones about this, and I make no apologies. If you are even considering finding a way to live through an avatar, 2045.com, my question to you is why? I think it's cheating yourself out of experiencing life in a way that you can garner life experiences to give to other people, whether it's your grandkids or kids or whatever. But to live forever in an avatar, to be uploaded into basically a robot, and to live forever while all your friends and family die around you, to me, I think that's incredibly stupid. I mean, that's how I look at it anyway. While a majority of the left in America believe that the recently passed tax cuts will benefit the rich and not help the poor, mainstream media has been forced to acknowledge the benefits average Americans will receive. There's a video there. I'll put that up on American Liberty Radio podcast. I look at life and I say, you know what? I wake up every day and I'm very grateful to be alive and grateful to do what I do and to do what I enjoy doing. But I look at life and I look at people around me and I ask myself, are they truly happy? And it always comes back, the answer, it always comes back either symbolically or literally from the person that I'm either talking to or the people I see. And once they open their mouth, I can tell that they're not content, they're not happy, they're more limited now than they were before, and they feel it because they've allowed themselves to be pushed into a corner and told that that's the only space they're ever going to have, and you can't go any further than this. So I see the limits that people have. But with what's happening right now, those limits are broke. But they've been so indoctrinated to think that that corner of that room is all they have and all they need, they're not going to step out and walk out the door. And that's a huge problem. And a couple of things here I want to mention. Steve Watson, Infowars.com, 21st December 2017. Rand Paul calls for investigation into Obama loyalists who, quote-unquote, colluded against Trump. Quote, this could be worse than Watergate, unquote. Senator Rand Paul called for an investigation into senior Obama officials who could have actively tried to prevent Donald Trump being elected. So Rand Paul talked about that. It's incredible to me that people still believe in former President Barack Obama. And it baffles me every day. Michael Thalen, Infowars.com, 21st of December 2017. Hackers compromised 65% of outdoor surveillance cameras in D.C. 123 surveillance camera computers hacked to distribute malware-laden spam mail. 2 Romanian hackers compromised 65% of Washington, D.C.'s outdoor surveillance cameras as part of a widespread extortion scheme. The federal documents obtained by CNN accuse the hackers of participating in a ransomware campaign that infiltrated computers used by D.C. police to control the cameras. Between January 9th and January 12th of this year, the pair took control of approximately 123 interconnected computers in order to send spam emails laden with ransomware. The IT network administrator remotely accessing one of the victim computers noticed, quote, multiple open desktop windows being used by a hacker. The investigators eventually located multiple email accounts accessed on a compromised machine, including one Gmail account that frequently emailed vandsolfleet@gmail.com. Van Solfleet, the document notes, translates to selling souls in Romanian. After contacting Google, the investigators learned that the Gmail account held a list of IP addresses, usernames, passwords for 94 of the IP addresses for MPDC surveillance camera computers. The FBI and USSS were eventually led to the 2 Ukrainian suspects due to a series of operational security mistakes. So they weren't smart. They got caught. That's going up on American Liberty Radio podcast because I highlighted several things. I didn't read the whole article. So, how do we go from here? How do we go from here? How do we take the time to do what we have to do to make America great again? What do we do? How do we go from here? What is that one thing that says, or what is that one thing that we can do that will help us get from where we're at now to making America great again? I don't know, folks. I really don't know. Hey, I'm going to go to break. I'll be right back. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com or Patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. I'll be back right after this.
Seems to be upside down and backwards, and all hope seems to be lost. There is one voice sharing the truth, revealing the facts, without all the bullshit. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. American Liberty Radio.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I am wondering, why are you here? True or do not, there is no try. True, there is no try. True or do not, there is no try. I am wondering, why are you here?